And 2 years after that, I had another kid. And when I got pregnant, I wanted to find clothing and toys and stories and books that would be gender neutral and body positive and empowering and would represent the multicultural queer family that we are. Guess which one of those was the hardest? Yeah, the last one. That was the part where you can talk to me. That's right. We'll get back to that. So in my day job, I work for a startup. We're an awesome health and wellness company. I lead the marketing and design. We help companies reward and incentivize their employees for doing healthy stuff. If you want to distill my job down to a couple of sentences, I write a lot of words about exercise to get people to do healthy things so they work harder. It's great. These are my kids. I'm talking to them.
Beautiful.
There it is. That's my company. My coworker came to me the other day and she said that she was having a problem because as part of her job, she has to go to gym websites and fitness facility websites every day to verify information for our customers. But then Google thinks, wow, this chick loves exercise. So on every single website and every single app that she visits, she's greeted with this every day. And she said, you know, I feel kind of bad about myself. I feel kind of bad about my body because all I see every day is whatever the fuck this is. It's sexy sports bras, it's super bendy yoga poses, it's asses that look like basketballs, it's Kardashian Instagram fitness influencers, and she has to see that every day for her job. But we're both incredibly privileged people. It's not hard to find images of us anywhere. And yet, when we were looking around our industry, the wellness industry looks like this. It's tall, thin, tanned, toned, white, rich ladies. It's laughing with salad. That's great. We feel bad about our bodies, and we don't have a hard time finding people who look like us. So what must it feel like for people who do have a hard time finding images that represent who they are? Because whether or not we know this consciously, the images that we see in the media that we consume tells a story about who we are and who is valid. It got me thinking about what happens when you see the same people all the time, and what happens when none of those people look like you, or when the people who do look like you are all negative. I don't have to tell you that representation in media is a problem, whether we're talking about roles for women in Hollywood, or the fact that Black and brown people tend to be cast as villains in movies, or the fact that I can't find any queer multiracial books for my fucking kids. I don't have to tell you that representation is a problem. But if we want to distill it down to my industry and wellness and stock photos, I was having a personal problem here. So I did some more research. There's a media professor who was the dean of Penn, and he said that representation signifies social existence, and absence means symbolic annihilation. Symbolic annihilation. By removing certain types of people, certain colors of people, certain body types, relationships, removing diversity from the things that we see, we can start to pretend that they don't exist and that they're no longer valid. And if we only see the same types of people over and over and over again, we start to believe that those people are the default and everyone else is the other. That sucks. That super sucks. I love my kids, and I want them to have storybooks that look like them. And I want them to eventually grow up and see stock photos that look like them. And this was never more important than when my daughter was 1 and she saw Moana for the first time. And she looked at this kid, she looked at the screen, she looked at me, she looked at the screen, she looked at me again. She's 1. She looked at the screen, and she pointed to herself and said, "That's Cora. That's me." Representation is validation, and the absence of it, the cost of that is too great to bear. So we have a lot of work to do, whether we're talking about the heart of Tafiti or we're talking about stock photos on my shitty website. Thank you. I have been your social justice mom for the evening.